Alright, thank you for that. I think we got our technical issues sorted out. Everybody should be able to hear me now. Everybody should be able to hear everything now. Ooh, we got lots of messages. That's what happens when you take a night off, I guess, and don't really do your thing. Gotta go get caught up on all that fun jazz. Alrighty then. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to read through all those. Hey, we got a free chest. Oh, cool. Got a thingy. Open another one of these. Alright, let's get started, I guess. Oh boy. There's only Daggerland. Okay, does Mick have and promoted people? No, we don't. We're yeah, I guess Merc didn't see those messages the other day. Okay, we do have some people in Daggerland, though. Oh, man. Well, sorry guys, but, you know, I've made it quite clear that I don't plan on taking part in any kind of big push for at least a couple of days. So, I'm just assuming that... Hey Mick, let me know when you're on. We want to take dag at reset. What the heck? Is that a... Oh! The subscriber thingy worked. Did that come through the stream? Or will that come through in like 30 seconds on the delay? Neat. Well, thank you for the subscription, Duta. I appreciate that. Hey Rod, how's it going? Welcome back. Or at least a couple days. So yeah, most of us aren't. Rod, can you hear me all right? I guess you said hi after I said hi. Hey, excellent to hear. Nice. Oh, okay. So get Sperry on the Discord later. Alright, I think we are caught up with the gist of our messages. It's basically just, you are very welcome, Dutah. That's what I like to hear. If my videos and my streams can help anyone figure out some of the ins and outs of this game a little bit easier, then I feel like I've done my job. So I don't want to see people not enjoy this game just because they're, you know, maybe a little unclear or confused, or, you know, admittedly the game designers could do a better job explaining certain aspects of the game. Because I think it is really a great game, especially for anyone that's into strategy games, war games, especially Lord of the Rings, obviously. I'm gonna need to learn better French, I think. YouTube doesn't have the translator they do in game. This translator is a lifesaver. Hey, we could join the game when it comes out. Awesome. Okay, so there's another one to get on the Discord later. I'll do that stuff when I'm off stream, the administration stuff. Well, apparently my son can't hear me, but I think he might be watching. So if he is, hello Daniel, hello Samantha, hey Fiona, hi Gabby, hello everybody over there. Hope you guys are doing well. This is the stream I've been trying to get working this week. Like I said, been busy. This is a whole new element. Excellent, Rod. Thank you. Like I said, I mean, I can see all the meters and stuff moving in my software, but sometimes it seems to lie. So it's good to get confirmation. All right, so we've got pretty much full resources. We can do a bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure we're close to getting our barracks full. So yeah, we're getting close. Let's get that done. Alright, we got 222 trolls. Could just go up to 400. I mean, if I'm gonna go to 422, I might as well just go to 420, right? Yes, I know that's kind of terrible, but hey. Do I want the extra alchemists? Not 5,000 extra, I don't think. 3,000? And how many crushers can I make? 3,000. And why am I not able? Barracks limit reached. That would be why. That makes sense. So 420 trolls is going to take up a lot of barrack space. A lot of barrack space. Screw it. What? Conscripts? Huh? I'm confused. Against horses, you suggest which kind of units? Yes. Rohan will do that to you with their marshals. So you're playing Mordor, or you're playing evil of some sort, obviously. So the halberdiers, I mean, you know, generally most people, when you're talking about going against horses, most people are going to default to talking about spears, because they all have the anti-cavalry training bonus damage. If you get this to max, that's going to be 50% bonus damage. These guys also have Spear Wall, which performs a counterattack on melee units in range. So they're a good option. I find them a tad underwhelming because they die really fast. But if you pair them up with raiders. They do a really good amount of damage, and then if you get their predator skill up, that at max I believe is what, 20%? Yeah, I think it's 20% extra damage at max to mounted units specifically, and they take less damage themselves. So that combination, using raiders, spearmen, you can either go with something like archers or crushers. The problem with using snipers is that if they have archers themselves, the snipers are going to target the archers first. The crushers, I find they're one of the main units I use, at least with Mordor, because they can shred the defense of enemies that you come up against. Yes, there are units about to be conscripted. Why is this not... Okay, fine. I guess I will take, I don't know, what, 2,500? Does this work? 2,200? Sure, there we go. Alright, cool. I can get a bunch more stuff if I need it to. Get some gold. Go improve some of those troops. Who do we want to improve? I mean, I was just talking with the crushers. Yeah. Boost that on up to 18%. One more. That'll be nice. The alchemists need an improvement too soon, I think. What are they at? Still at 7. Could bring them up to the 270. 255 is still good for now, though. I don't use them often enough. Not yet, anyway. So, now that that's taken care of, alright, Grima, he's going to need another mock battle. But I think I want to go and take that. Sounds good, Duta. Good luck. Going up against Rohan, though, it can just be tough, regardless, because they can pair, the marshals with cavalry. If they use something like Bonites along with that on like a Theoden or an Eowyn, it doesn't even matter if you're using a good anti-cavalry setup; they're gonna hurt. Alright, so let's see, let's give you 100 of those. 3,000 of those. And okay, that's fine. 25. God, I hate numbers like that. I don't know. It bugs me. Alright. So we got you, and you. Ready to go. I'm gonna want at least one more. Let's try bringing Shagrat into the fight. They're not orcs. They're orcs. Oh, Reapers are orcs. Orcs, and trolls? I mean, I know... Although, I mean, he'd be crazy with probably just going straight like this. Yeah, a bunch of them are gonna die early. But... yeah, no, a bunch of them are gonna die really early. They're gonna be doing so much damage, though. It's such a sacrificial... I think I gotta get rid of those for now. What's the purpose? To get more of a kind of unit or less amount. Do you mean when I'm adjusting my sliders here to try and finagle my amounts? If that's what you're asking, then I try and think about how I can best maximize the units that I'm using. Like a commander like this isn't a great example because, as I was saying, this is pretty much a sacrificial commander. He doesn't really have much in the way of defense for his guys. You know, somebody like Grima, with this setup here, you know, yes, okay. So with this setup here, you know, if I bring 100 trolls in, chances are they're going to soak. Well, I guess I don't need 100 even. I mean, any amount of trolls is going to soak the damage. But they're going to soak a lot of the damage for the first 3 rounds and save these guys hit points. These guys do a lot of damage, so I want to make sure that I've got, you know, at least my 2,000. But in order to try and maximize the amount of damage they do, I want to include more crushers on the front line to be able to take advantage of the armor break, and as well as obviously just try and, you know, take out as many of their melee units early as I can. I feel like it's better to do it this way as opposed to doing something like this, which you can do. I've seen a lot of people do this where they get more damage from their archers and then have less to soak the damage. And especially if you're using it on a composition like this with trolls, I probably could afford it, to be honest. But like I said, personally, I really, really like the defense debuff that the crushers bring. And I feel like having more of them applying that debuff is going to help maximize their damage as well as the trolls. Yes, yeah, they can take a lot of damage, at least from melee units, compared to other archers, because they have the full protection. It doesn't give them any more protection from ranged. It doesn't give them any more protection from focus damage, but for melee units specifically, it definitely gives them protection, which is the reason that I use them as an example in my troop counters talks. Because these guys are a perfect counter to any kind of ranged Dunedain combo that the good factions are going to throw at you, because they prioritize the ranged units while defending themselves from the Dunedains. Yo, how is it going? And welcome back to the stream, Lord Phantom, and Skane as well. Thank you very much for joining. Just back here for a quick early morning Q&A stream. They seem to be pulling in some more people now, so I figure while I'm awake, take advantage of the early morning hours. So I'm still trying to figure out if I actually want to bring Shagrat, if I want to use, because I could use Azurkor and continue improving him. But I only have snipers to bring with him. I want to try the Shagrat damage out. So let's bring these guys over here. Oh, this is going to be tough. I'm going to lose a lot of these guys on this, I think. What? Let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I want a 260 to mock on. Have there been any big changes on the map? Since yesterday, I didn't really check that. Doesn't look like it. Nope. Map's still pretty much in the same state it was in. How are we looking over here? No, they're all talking about being ready for DAG. Yeah, they're all here. Did anyone else declare war? No. Alright, well. We got, what, 2 people over there right now? Do I have any forts left in this area? I do, but again, just not quite ready yet. I don't want to go waste all those troops on keeps and war when I still need to take 230s, 260s. I need to work up to some 300s. You don't need to be fighting every single day. We did for a few days there because we were under a lot of pressure, but we're not really being pressured anywhere anymore. Check Gondor's capital. I guess that would be a major change, wouldn't it? Oh, no, it's still standing. Oh. Not for much longer. Not for much longer. Yep. I imagine that's going down probably at reset. Who's at war? Yeah, they're still at war for 14 hours. Yep, that's going down at reset. I'm going to call it right now. Ouch. So we got, what, half an hour pretty much on these guys marching. Yep, those trolls are not the speediest of things. Skane, we pretty much already had that fight on S1 when all of us were pretty much Gondor and fighting the elves, which were Mordor pretty much from S3. So I think King from S3, they're in Mordor. They were Gondor with us. I think King and Swan were probably the 2 strongest fellowships in Gondor on server 1. And we put up a pretty good fight with the elves on a few different fronts. But I think that's kind of the idea. Nah, they're not necessarily better. They're just, in my opinion, they're just more ruthless about it. The people in server 4 in Isengard, they could have run over this server really, really early and just made life absolutely miserable for people, just taking over the entire map within a week. But they didn't. They took their time. They've allowed people to learn and grow and expand. I mean, yes, we've all had to get into fights, and some have had to win, some have had to lose, but like I said, it's not necessarily a better or worse thing. I personally believe if Isengard and the veterans on server 4 were to go against the veterans from server 3 in an all-out head-to-head fight, it would be pretty fair, because the strategy and tactics, used by both sides are really effective. There's a lot of knowledge about the game on both sides that can be used to great effect. So I think that's kind of what the seasonal rollovers are going to be, though. where, for example, server 3 and server 4, I think come live, once those two servers both complete their seasonal objectives, from my understanding, once all of these have been completed on two servers at least, which from what I've heard, they expect to take 2 to 3 months. At that point, 2 mature servers, which is what they are when these are complete, will get merged into one fresh server that starts, from objective 1. So I think there will be instances where that exact thing happens, where you get 2 servers merging and you get the powerhouse from one server having to face off against the powerhouse from another server. That is when things are going to really start getting interesting. Hello and welcome to the channel. I don't speak or read Russian, but I recognize that I think that's what that is. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. That is an assumption on my part. But welcome to the stream nonetheless. I welcome any and all to the stream from anywhere around the world. If I am incorrect in that assumption, and it was an offensive assumption, I do apologize. I'm not an expert on languages, so maybe I should read up a little more before making those assumptions to avoid that kind of possibility. There was no malicious intent behind it. Okay, thank you, Eisen. And welcome back to the stream, Eisen. Thank you for joining. As I always say, any questions about the game, feel free to ask. Try and answer to the best of my abilities. If we don't know the answer, we'll find out together. It will be an adventure. Like I said, I'm kind of waiting 20 minutes here on these guys to... Oh, I should probably bring Shagrat over too, shouldn't I? If I plan on getting him into the fight. Waiting on these guys to get over here so I can attempt a 260. I'm hoping it's going to go well. I've got these 3 guys as my main attack force, and then I'm going to try Shagrat out as a backup if needed. Pretty sure I've got Shagrat loaded up with all... Yeah, I'm loaded up with all orcs here. They're a little rougher for us there, Heisen. You're an elf, if I recall. And the good factions have a bit easier time on 200 plus tiles than we do. I mean, I know they're not incredibly hard. They just inflict such heavy losses depending on the compositions we come up against. I mean, going up against the mounted heavy compositions isn't too bad, but getting those trolls thrown in the mix, especially when you get the double troll commanders. Oh god, they hurt. But again, I'm feeling pretty confident in the group that I'm sending over, so. Yes, I think they have a cave troll. Yeah, I got cash. I can work on a building upgrade here. What do I want to upgrade? I want to get, that to 9 so that I can get that up to 6. That's up to 6. That's up to 6. No, let's just get you up to 15 then. Keep working our way to max with that. Barracks upgrade's gonna come next, I think. Get that up to 20. Yeah, I put a suggestion on the Discord about that, you know, it doesn't really make sense to me that resource tiles for the evil side are still defended by evil commanders. I think it's one of those things where, to be honest, I don't know if they expected to have the evil factions playable this early. I think, to be honest, I think we kind of pressured them into it. And in doing so, I don't think they were able to fully reprogram whatever they needed to make such a smooth transition like that. So I'm hoping come live, that sounded odd. I'm hoping come live that is something they address, because it really does slow things down on the evil side. It makes it so much harder to, you're just not incentivized to go after those tiles, unfortunately. You've got to over prepare for them most of the time. As I said, like I'm just now going for a 260 when I feel like I should have had one, you know, 3 or 4 days ago. Easy. I should be going after a 300 by now. I don't even want to think about that. Yeah, man, wow, without the trolls, they move a lot faster. This guy's only got a 17-minute march. Those other guys were almost half an hour. I want to just throw somebody else on a mock while we're trying to do that? I think so. Ukthak, Azru. Yeah. Yeah, 300s are no joke. That is for sure. Yeah, I've got all my main guys really going over there, so I think I'm in a good spot. Unless I want to boost Azure Core. But Sharku I like. Let's just see here. Yeah, because he does the burn damage with normal attacks, so I wouldn't need to, yeah, actually, that's the nice thing with someone like him. I wouldn't need to use any kind of specific troops with this commander if we came up against Gondor, because this guy can counter Oathbreakers all on his own. Yeah, that makes the decision easy. That makes the decision very easy. Yeah, really good against Ents. You know, you throw a bunch of alchemists and corsairs on them, and those Ents are gonna melt. Yep, I can make this better, can't I? That's not what I want to go into. Store, that's the one. That's the thingy. And yep, let's go make it even better. Oh, I forgot it's 80. God dang it. I wish they'd separate those. I would much rather only pay 50 gems for the mock battle boost, since I don't gather enough anyway. But hey, it is what it is. 450 plus 85.5. That'll be what, 535.5? Sweet. So 535.5, and he's, oh my god, he still only needs 24k, so he will probably hit. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get close to 30 off this. Probably 22 to 25 though, to be honest. Yeah, I'd say 25-ish. I'm gonna put money on 25. I mean, not really, but yeah, 25. That's my bet. What does everyone think? 535,000 experience. What level does everyone think Sharku is going to get to? 25 is my guess. I'm curious to see what others think. Start doing more stuff like that to engage people. $26, $27-ish, yeah. Yeah, in and around there. Jump in the lane. It's funny, this this frame that I'm using for the webcam frame doesn't show up all that well against the desert, does it? I guess that's not a terrible thing, really. It's not obtrusive that way. Just got, you know, a little bit of flame at the bottom. Yeah, this was a neat looking overlay that I saw. I figured I'd try and figure out how to get those set up and working. The chat box wasn't wanting to work. I tried linking that up to YouTube, and it was preventing YouTube chat from communicating with OBS, it seems. But it seemed like the alerts are working, so that's cool. Indeed. Hey, welcome to the stream. If you're new, any questions, feel free to ask. Try and help out the best we can. I'm still batting that question around, Heisen. It's looking more and more like I'll end up going Mordor again. But more than likely, I will have 2 accounts. Probably both Skane. That's what I was just about to get at, is that I'll most likely have 2 accounts. One for the good factions, one for the evil factions, and I'll probably end up being dwarves and Mordor. It's gonna be hard to have an equal focus on both. So if I end up in like a leadership role again, then I would likely only be able to take that on for one of the 2 factions. The other faction, I would have to just be a soldier, which I have no problem with. But I don't mind taking part in the diplomacy behind the scenes either. You know, a lot of us that have been playing this since the last previous betas. It's easier to get things done sometimes. We have relationships with each other now, and so depending on the factions we all end up in, sometimes communication between the factions is just easier done by the vets, and so you see a lot of them in leadership positions. Yes, Mark, up early today. Wanted to get a bit of an early morning stream in. The one I did the other day seemed to do really well, so I figure if people want to view in the morning, I can do some morning streams. They work better for the webcam, for the face cam thing anyway, since at night I still don't quite have a lighting setup in here that works for the blue screen at night. So I can't really run the face cam if I stream at night. I mean, I was just assuming people wanted to look at my ugly mug anyway. Maybe not. Maybe I should just hide it. But, hey, I got it working. Yeah, they can be a slow process to get, especially early on when you're starting. And I don't find you absolutely need to have a ton of commanders. There's some people that try and get every commander available, but really, realistically, as you can see from mine, there are only so many commanders that you can realistically invest the resources in and the time in to be your main fighting force. If I were to try and keep all these guys on a level playing field, they'd probably all still be level 25s. So yes, having, I think, about half a dozen commanders is probably a good number. It allows you to have 3 or 4 that you want to use as your main attack force, and then it allows you to have at least a couple of more to use as pathers, so that you're not having to sacrifice stamina from your attack force in order to get to new areas or reach certain tiles. A little bit, yeah. I've got a video coming out. I've still got to edit the next few videos coming out. I've got all the footage and whatnot done. But I've got a video coming out on what I think are worthwhile purchases. I definitely feel that both of the monthly cards are worth it. When you buy this monthly card, you get 1,000 gems right off the bat, and then over the course of 30 days, you get 150 gems each day at reset. And then if you buy the Craftsman's contract, you get 2,300 gems right off the bat, and then each day for 30 days, you get 1 Matham coin each day at reset. So those are a couple of good ways to possibly get extra commanders. I've heard of people getting lucky with Matham coins and getting T3 invitations, but you can always get the gifts, gear, and stuff like that. A lot of the times the 150 daily gems, unless you were to save these up for 15 or 20 days, you couldn't even really buy a Matham chest with them. So usually these I find used personally for speed ups, refreshing the market. Now, the one thing that they've done, Skane, I will say this. One of the reasons I say that these are worthwhile purchases is that there is a gem refund come live. So any money that you spend isn't necessarily 100% lost when our accounts are wiped. So if you do buy gems, yes, because there's less than a month to go, maybe these aren't of value right now. But the gem refund makes it a little bit more justifiable to make certain purchases like that. The other one that I do think is worth it is the season pass. And again, you know, this late in the season, maybe it's not worth it for you right now, but a note for live, the season pass is definitely a worthwhile investment. You get a lot of Matham coins, a lot of gems, a lot of gear, and you also end up getting gifts for certain commanders. So the season pass, it's very easy to complete most of your weekly objectives. I find the tips and the purchases are two of the harder ones to complete. The purchases I can usually get done over the course of the week. The tips, sometimes I don't get that one done. Those are the main purchases that I think are definitely worth it. Oh, now, Skane, did you actually find the construction queue worth it? I've never spoken to anyone that's bought that one. I've never used it myself. I've never found the need for a third construction queue, but I've been curious to talk to somebody that had it to find out how they felt about it. What were your thoughts on the third construction queue? More drama in world chat. Rohan now wanting Sora to stop. Yeah, no problem, Skane. Again, like you said, I mean, it's understandable if you're not wanting to do that right now. You know, there's less than a month to go. You're not going to get full value out of either of them, really. But again, come live. Yeah, that will help you get a bit faster start. Oh, geez, I don't have footage for it, but I need to make sure to mention in the video that I do think purchasing, you know, Aragorn or Camul, respectively, for the good or evil factions, I do think that's a worthwhile purchase as well. As far as I've seen, it's only around the $2 to $5 mark, depending on your, or 2 to 5 mark, depending on your currency, I guess. So. Okay, so it's, yeah, that makes sense that it would be more useful like mid to late game than it would be early game. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I'm going to take note of that if people are asking. Yeah, Rohan does. Because, yeah, it seems, you know, when I think back on it, when I got going back into the Red Book to pad my resources, I probably could have used that third construction queue for that time. But I mean, it's what, 30 days that you get it for? And I don't think you would need it for 30 days. I'm wondering if they could drop the price of that. Yeah, I wonder if they could, like, what would you think, Skane? Again, as somebody who's purchased it and used it, would you think it would still be of value if they were to drop the price of that in half and reduce the duration to 2 weeks, like 14 days? Yeah. So I mean, you would have got your buildings off the ground pretty quick, but that's one thing that it's tough to get the balance of. Sometimes is, you know, building upgrades and troops. As I said, that's why my play style is a bit weird, probably in that sense, where a lot of the time I don't balance them. I decide one or the other. I'm focusing on troops, or I'm focusing on resources or upgrades. And so if I'm focusing on troops, I explained, I think, on one of my other streams that, oh crap, Agzok's gonna hit first. That's not gonna work. That if I'm focusing on troops, I end up going into the market and bartering pretty much all my stone into grain. I go and conscript whatever troops I want, and then I barter whatever I have left into stone and do like minimal upgrades. And then if I'm focusing on upgrades, I do it the other way around. I go in and I barter any of my grain over into stone, get any upgrades I want started, and then I barter any stone left into grain and try and conscript whatever I can. Yeah, 7-day ones for 200 diamonds, that would probably be decent as well. Yeah, 'cause, 30 days to me just seems too long. I don't think you need, how are you going to, just thinking about it, it would be so hard to maintain the resource flow while trying to conscript armies and it would be really hard, I think, to maintain and actually get full value out of the construction queue for the full 30 days. It feels like a lot of players would use it, and even if they made use of it, it might only benefit them for, I don't know, a week, maybe 2. So, yeah, maybe that's something that could go in the Discord suggestion. I forgot to send everyone else. Funny. Maybe that's something that could go in the Discord suggestions. A tweak to the construction queue. Thing. Well, yeah, there we go. There's a prime example, I guess. So, now, yeah, because there's 20, or, yeah, there's like 21, yeah, there's exactly 3 weeks left, I think, now. So, you've got 3 weeks. Well, I don't know. That's, Yeah, I still think they could reduce it. I mean, I don't think you need it for the full 30 days. But it's like, okay, so you bought it, you've got everything upgraded. There's 3 weeks left. So, I mean, you did get value out of it. Because now you can focus on... I don't know, if you feel like you got value out of it anyway. Regardless, I do think they could do with changing it. I don't think it has to be stuck at 30 days. Be more flexible on it. Give players the option. Oh, really? Ow. Oh, okay, this is the second defender. Sweet. Yeah, that's what does it, though. That's what does it right there. That just hurts so much. We haven't heard a confirmation on when it's going to go live, as far as I know. I think all we've heard is later this year. I'm kind of betting on around a holiday release, like somewhere around maybe November, December. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't released in 2021. If it has to wait until 2022, like until January at some point, I will be surprised. But I'll also be kind of excited if that happens, just because hopefully it'll mean there are some big changes planned that are in the works. So I think the more changes that need to be made to the game based on user feedback, the longer it's going to take. You know, if they don't have to make a whole ton of changes, then maybe it'll come out sooner. What are we going to do during that time, Phantom? Well, you can always come by my channel whenever you're feeling that itch, and, you know, just check out some of my how-to videos that are going to be released in the downtime. I'm going to try and gather as much footage as I can while the game is live. That's why I've decided to go for a bit more stream. I don't know, do these horn things here, do these things work? I don't know, they're coming down into my forehead, I just noticed. But that's why I've decided to do a bit of a more stream-heavy format while the game is live. I'm going to try and get a bunch of footage, get some videos put together and ready to go. And then once the beta ends, I'm going to be uploading how-to videos, tips videos, tricks videos, things like that to the channel to try and keep people engaged and hype for the game. I'll try and do I'll try and do update videos as well if I can. If I learn any, you know, game updates as dates or times or, oh my god, that's just wrong. What happened? Oh. Where did all the damage go? I'm gonna have to read this report. Something went terribly wrong here. Yeah, Skane, that's kind of my thought behind it as well. The holidays are always a bit of an opportune time for things like that. Oh, okay, we're down to 58 friggin' Ravagers. This is just not going well. What do we got left hitting it? Kamul's gonna hit him again. Alright, well, okay, do I have time? Probably not. I'm gonna try it, but if you're not on, also Lord Phantom, if you're not on the Discord servers, you can be sure to join the official Discord server that that NetEase, I believe the developers run. They put out updates on there all the time. They've got a lot of different server channels on there to keep people engaged. We also have an unofficial Discord that was set up by some of the vets from the old betas, and that's the Discord that we all used when the previous beta went down to keep in contact with each other, make sure everyone was informed of when this beta was starting, and that's how the Isengard members organized in order to pull this off. We had everything set up, ready to go. Hey, there we go. Sweet. It took just about everything I had, but we got it. Yeah, I'm a little doubtful on that, Heisen. Like I said, because I feel like it's going to be a Christmas release. I think this might be the last beta. I think that's why they opened it up to so many regions. I think that's why they added so many servers, and I think that's why they allowed us to play the evil factions that they have. I think they know that this is it. That would be cool. I've said from the beginning, I was saying last beta, that I think they need to do a test with all 8 factions playable, because it's really going to change how the game plays out. We've already seen how 2 evil factions changes how the game plays out, as opposed to having them AI controlled. So having 8 player-controlled factions is going to be insane. Angmar. Let's go check out Angmar. So, the main Angmar troops here, yeah, they're not, at least the orc slingers, you're probably going to end up replacing them with snipers most of the time. You're not going to use your raiders quite as often as you might think. Reapers, though, these guys are proving themselves. They've shown to be quite a good unit. Like I said, I gotta go check that shag rat battle. I'm not sure what went wrong there. I think something is bugged again, because none of that damage made sense. So yeah, when it comes to playing Angmar, their T4 unit, I can't remember, I think it's called Revenant or something like that. It's the Undead Horsemen. They're a pretty strong unit, if I remember right. So them and Reapers are going to be probably the main Angmar unit actually used. And then you'll be pairing them up probably with the same units we already used. The Crushers, the Trolls, as I said, the Snipers, the Alchemists. To me, it does feel like Mordor and Isengard are the main 2 forces used, which to me also makes sense lore-wise. You know, the main forces of Sauron were Mordor and Isengard. And, I mean, yeah, Angmar in that sense with the Witch King. The Fallen, that's them. Thank you. But I mean, Rune, they're kind of a mercenary faction that Sauron pulled under his wing. The Corsairs, I think they are an underrated unit that just need to find the right composition to make them really shine. Because I know they can do a lot of damage. But yeah, I am kind of curious to see Angmar, how they play out. Their positioning on the map is really interesting. Because, you know, they're immediately going to be fighting it out with dwarves and elves. A ranged unit in Mordor. Yeah, wouldn't be terrible. Because we have... Yeah, I think... Because this is a weird thing that they do, I think, where, you know, certain factions share buildings. So I don't think it would hurt Mordor for this to be changed. Because, like I said, I don't personally use them as often as I would like to. Yeah, it's funny, Skane. I've actually been thinking that myself. I maybe come live because I don't know if there's enough time to try it on this beta. And I wouldn't have time to focus on it anyway. But probably come live, I'll do at least one Rohan account at some point. Just because marshals are so high damage. If you can, and the march speed on Rohan, you know, you're always going to beat your opponents in that race. And if they don't have avoidance for those first instances of damage, then the marshals and cavaliers tear them apart. It's great. Especially on the right commanders with the right gear. The Guard of the Tower don't actually have... well, do Guard of the Tower have a bonus against melee units? Is that what you mean about them being good against large creatures? Because as far as I know, they don't have bonus damage versus large units like the Bone Knights do or anything. But yeah, I guess if they have bonus damage against melee units, that's... anyone wondering what I'm looking at here, these are the public reports. I do have a video coming out on these as well. You no longer have to go and hunt down reports by harassing people in chat. You can just come find them yourself. You can even sort them by significant structures, PvP. Why can I not find a friggin' report with guards of... Okay, well, these guys... Yeah, they've got the anti-cav. Where is a guard of the tower report? Come on, people. Elves. Oh, they could use them, but... Oh, there we go. I can keep going. Really? No reports with a guard of the tower. Yeah, I know they've got the, like I said, I know they've got the cavalry. I know they've got the cavalry debuff. But, as I said, I just didn't think they had anything specific against large units. Because a mounted, an anti-cavalry buff doesn't... Yeah, here we go. Guard of the tower. Okay, so yeah, they've got their anti-cavalry training, and they've got a chance to reduce physical damage. So no, they're not... Like, they're not a counter against large units. They may do well against them. Like, better than some other units, but no, they're not something you can count on to counter large units. But they do counter cavalry, yes, that is true. They do not like the Rohan horses. And that is where, at least on our side of things, that is where the Crushers become, in my opinion, a hard counter. If you're worried about running into Guard of the Tower with your mounted units, just make sure you run some Crushers with them. They're going to prioritize melee units, and they're going to tear apart that defense. Make sure the trolls can just squish them. And again, that goes right back to, you know, troop counters and just reading reports, reading abilities, making sure you understand what troops do what against what other troops. Not everything prioritizes certain things, but some do. Alright, talk to you later, Skane. Thank you once again for joining the stream. Always a pleasure. You enjoy the rest of your day, my man. Yeah, I would not be opposed to something changing with the Ravagers. I'm not exactly sure what, though, to be honest. I don't know what they could do. I mean, to me, they've set the game up in such a way that this is always going to be more beneficial than a random chance, or not a random chance, but, you know, a percent chance at spreading out damage against all enemies. Because that's the big downside I ended up seeing to this. I really got excited about this at first when I was facing these guys. But the problem I started to think about is that if they do hit all enemy units, do they do max? If they roll a 420 on their damage, do they do that 420 damage to all enemy units? Or is that 420 damage spread out equally amongst the units they hit? So I guess, so if there were 2 units, for example, and he hit all of them, would he only end up doing 210 damage to each of those separate units? Or would each of the separate units take the full 420? That was a calculation that I didn't know the answer to right away, and I've been too busy to invest any resources into them to get the reports. I could go back and read other people's reports, I just haven't yet. Alright, Grimma's still got 127 stamina, so he can... why did I... Yeah, he's on his way back. Crap. I could have just set him right on that tile to mock. Oh yeah, we're gonna need to heal up a bunch of guys. Okay, this is a good opportunity actually to come check out this crazy report. Like, what the heck happened here? Nobody did any damage. Did they all just get wiped out before round 5? Like, I don't get it. Oh. Okay. I get it. Oh, I get it. Yep. What? Is Shagrat not an orc? This is why nobody's been using Shagrat. We cannot figure him out. We don't know if it's his skills that are just bugged or... Like, how is he only doing 3,000 damage? And 4,000 damage. Or that's the mountain troll. Yeah, okay, so this actually would... Ravager attacks. No, okay, so it looks like the 420, at least from this, yeah, it looks like the 420 gets applied to everybody. So, okay, maybe Ravagers are good in that sense then. Shagrat is an Urukai. Seriously? Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. Like, who designed this friggin' commander then? Because they don't know what they're doing. They honestly have no clue what they're doing. Why would you give an Urukai commander bonuses to orcs? Bonuses that specifically would benefit him if he was an orc. Yeah, he gets one Urukai thing at respect 5. One minor bonus for Urukai at rank 5. Yet your orcs will do 30% more damage and are immune to madness. I don't get this guy. I honestly don't get this guy. He's got the worst stun in the game. He's just a... Yeah, this guy's mind-boggling, man. I really wanted him to be a hidden gem. I really did. I thought he was like a, you know, could be a little secret weapon that people weren't prepared for, because everyone would just read those skills and kind of dismiss him. Well, he can be dismissed for very good reason, in my opinion. I don't think he's ever going to see level 35. Not after that battle. Not after finding out he's an Urukai. Okay, I didn't give him anything specific for orcs, but that's just stupid. I try and forgive them a lot for design oversight and things like that, but that one I think is just stupid. All your base are belong to us. They don't have those kind of translation issues in video games, it seems, anymore. Those were the days, man. Was that Contra? Yeah, got upgrades working, got troops building. respond in private messages. What am I doing? Not everybody needs to know. Ah, I can't type today. Admin stuff. Alrighty, Phantom, if that is still you with me, I think I'm going to go and take a quick 10-minute break here. Just hit the washroom real quick, go for a quick smoke. While we are still just waiting on... Did somebody leave? Who left? What? Why the hell did you leave, Repo? I'm sorry, Repo, but you're not gonna do any better over in any of those other friggin' warbands, man. Don't mean to say anything rude about them, but like, they're just going too fast. They need to take a little bit of time. Alright, yes, so we'll take the quick little break now and we shall return. I'm going to give this intermission scene a shot. Let's see what happens. I don't think the chat box is working, but if it does, then there you go. And we are back. We'll get back to our live scene here. Sorry if that was a little longer than anticipated. So we got everybody back at base now. You know what? We want to get you over there really quick. So we're going to take these off of him. And we're going to give them to you. Fly, Grandma, fly. Oh, that's like the same. 12, 13, so I'd need how much more grain? 14K, that's not that much. I can get that real easy. Let's try that again. Wrong one. Could just wait a few more minutes until he hits 140. And I could get 14. Or I could just pretty well, if I just wait till noon, he'll be at 15. That would be an extra 80 grand. 520 and 78, so there's almost 600. What's he at? So, why are there some regions you can't occupy? That is a good question. So yeah, there are certain regions like the Eastern Wastes, near Harad, the Paths of the Dead, Fangor, Celebrant Fields, Amon Lak, and then the Gladden Fields and Karak up here that cannot be occupied. They do not have keeps to take control of. And the Dead Marshes and Entwash here, I think are the other two. They don't have keeps to be taken control of. They are neutral. I've been trying to figure out myself why they're included. The only thing that kind of makes sense to me is that, you know, if you notice, because this is the only area of the map that doesn't actually have any neutral zones, funny enough, but they're pretty balanced as to where the neutral zones are. There's a couple here, there's a few over here, a few over here. Now, Amon Lak, that's a bit of a unique case. That's just where the ring is, so nobody can control it. But these regions, they allow you to, attack people without having to declare war in that region. So, for example, when we were under pressure here from the elves at the Black Gate, they had to declare war on us if they wanted to attack and do siege damage to the Black Gate. We, on the other hand, did not have to declare war on them when we wanted to push out and siege down their forts, because this is neutral land. So because of that, we were able to use our war declarations to focus on other areas. I believe we used our war declarations for Nirn as well as Hills of Rune. And then we were able to still bounce back here and defend against the elves when needed. So again, there are people I see that don't like the neutral regions. I can understand why. I do think they're kind of necessary. I think they could balance them out more, though. I think they could look at the data gathered from servers and try and find some buffer zones that might prevent early early dominance in certain senses. I think there are zones that could be used as buffer zones for that purpose. I wouldn't be surprised to see the neutral region system be reworked come live. So, Grima is... Oh yeah, we're waiting on Grima so that he can take full advantage of the mock battle. The alchemist, I always feel like I want to save my alchemists for their siege damage. It seems to make so much more sense. These guys are going to die so much faster if I don't use mountain trolls with them. That's my problem with using either of these units in just normal compositions. I find these guys pretty well have to be run on someone like Kamul or Grima, along with mountain trolls, or else you're not making your best use out of this ability here. And then these guys, like I said, they can do really good damage, but I always want to have a bunch of these guys on hand now for if I ever want to siege down keeps real quick. So it starts to limit. I gotta make room in my barracks just by getting rid of some of these guys that I don't use. So I can just get rid of these, I just don't find myself using the dragoons. I mean, if I just do this, I'm just gonna run through a lot of my crushers, but I've got another 5,000 on the go, so I think, yep, well, 3,722. I love the drama in world chat. Alright, so we've got a couple more guys loaded up here. What we wanted to do with them. So yeah, we've still probably got... Yeah, we've still got a bunch of AI down here that apparently the other warbands don't feel like helping with. Which is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. If we gotta deal with it, we gotta deal with it. See if I can get these guys down here to do just that with this camp. Got at least one reinforcement that's probably gonna hit it. Estelle, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Yes, sometimes it is funny drama, that's for sure. I see we're back up to 4 viewers. Welcome to the stream. Anyone that's new, any questions about the game, feel free to ask. We'll try and answer whatever we can to the best of our abilities. Anything we don't know, we'll try and find out together. It'll be a little adventure. Yeah, I thought it was too. But, I mean, people are free to leave. I'm not forcing anyone to stay if they're not enjoying their time in Swan. But I've tried to be engaging with everyone, try and make everyone feel like they're part of the team, because they definitely are. I mean, we've got some great people in Mordor in general. That's just more of the administration stuff. Needs to be dealt with sometimes. So how long are we waiting on this? We got 14-minute wait on Agzok. We've got an 18-minute wait on Kamul. All right. We've got Sharku still doing his thing over here. Got an hour and 10 minutes left on him. Ah, that's what I wanted to do. I've continuously been saying I wanted to read this report, and I kept forgetting to read this report. No, I didn't. I came in and read it. Oh my god. Recreational amnesia. Yeah, I read this report. I was sad. I was sad with that report. Because that's when I figured out that Shagrat is kind of poop. So that's unfortunate. Let's see what these guys are up to down here. I know they were having a time of it. Yep. And looks like Gondor's trying to defend. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense, Repo, but hey, you do you. You're always welcome back. I mean, being in another lower ranked clan isn't... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, you do you. So, anyone new joining the stream? We're just waiting on some timers here. We got a couple marches. Gonna be taking out some AI camps. Grima, yeah, he's up to 142 now. So he should be ready to go pretty soon. Let's get him on over there. Oh, you know, because this, it won't take the extra stamina if I just do it from the base. That's why I gave him the Fell Beasts, so that he'd get over there nice and quickly. Do I have any of these? Yeah, I can get a couple of purchases done in the market. That should be easy peasy. 1 and 2. Look at that. Done and done. $300 gems, 300 gems. Gathering, that's the other thing I can do. Alright. What do we want to gather? Probably just grain. So we got Ugthak can go and gather. Let's go. Azurkor, you can go and gather some stuffs. Maltok, you can go gather some stuffs. The balance between good and evil is actually, it is actually pretty good. It's hard to see the balance in the game when you get a large group like Isengard. We saw the same thing on server 1 with a large group of elves. When it's more even and the factions, populations are a bit more balanced, it's easier to see the balance in the game. again, I have been saying it. There's none of the factions are down and out yet. Everybody still has a chance. But if the elves, Rohan, and Gondor at least do not start working together and organize themselves, they have no chance at ever improving this situation. Isengard is strong, yes, but they cannot defend all their lands all at once, and they can't defend against everybody at the same time. It's not an impossible task. It's just hard. Once the dwarves get into it, Isengard is going to feel the pressure. Dwarves are really strong. They just haven't been involved in PvP yet. You know, Isengard hasn't really been fighting them. So, if all of the good factions actually teamed up and organized themselves and started figuring out where to best hit Isengard, rather than just defending every target Isengard goes for, sometimes you need to sacrifice things. You know, maybe Gondor does have to sacrifice Minas Tirith for now in order to, you know, I don't know, put pressure over here or up here. If Rohan let Gondor through here, they could all just come over and start pressuring around here. Elves and dwarves, if they stopped fighting up here, well, they could just start marching down into Central Mirkwood and East Bite and Withered Gardens and start taking this land from them. Yeah, we would probably need to end up getting involved at that point to help them out, but again, it's not an impossible task. It's just hard. So it's times like this where the focus on teamwork and coordination really shines. There's a lot of good players on this server. I mean, I have been a fight from behind player in this game most of the time I've been playing. I've been in factions that have not been on top necessarily. My first beta, dwarves were one of the weaker factions. We only had, I think, one fellowship that was really strong and doing anything, and then I had a fellowship with, I don't know, 10 or 15 members by the end of it. And we were helping out however we could. But I've wrestled with that question, to be honest, Phantom. I honestly have. Because it would really reinvigorate the server, I think, if Isengard started getting pushed back a little bit. Like I said, I know that the good factions have what it takes to do it themselves. I just don't know if they have enough veterans to make the certain decisions that they might need to, in terms of targets to attack and things like that. I do think that if Mordor was to help them, at least me, I know already, looking at the map, certain, as you just saw, I mean, I've already got certain ideas in my head as to, you know, where the good factions could attack to try and claw back some progress. But I'll be perfectly honest, I would burn so many bridges, I think, if I were to betray Isengard. Most of the people I played on server 1 with, most of the people I played in the last beta with, have all gone Isengard. So I've got a lot of friends over there, and I hope they would understand if I were to do that. I don't even know if I'd be able to convince the rest of Mordor to go along with it, to be honest. I could probably convince most of Swan, but I can't guarantee that all of Mordor would go with the plan, so it may not even work anyway. That's why I haven't gone through with that, even though I'll admit that I've batted the thought around a bit. Like I said, I'm just really, really hoping that the good factions can come together and start cooperating the way they need to. They've just lost so much hope, it seems. They don't have any faith in themselves. And I think, like I said, one of the reasons is I think because they're focusing so much on defending. Although Rohan is finally... Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, no, they're still defending this. Well, that's the critical crossing right over to Orthanc, though, so that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense that they've got that defended. But this is kind of one of the things that I'm talking about. All these forts are empty right now, I imagine. So, well, maybe not, because there's a battle going on. But, like, the idea that, you know, I would have is you, like I said, if the dwarves and the elves teamed up and started attacking down here, well, maybe Isengard would pull a bunch of people up to defend. And then while they're up here defending this, Gondor can start pushing over here and try and take this back. Maybe that would give Rohan the opportunity to break through that crossing and threaten Orthanc. And as soon as Orthanc gets threatened, you know that the people that moved over here are going to get called back to defend it. So that then makes these easier to take. Or these easier to take if these people get called back. Like I said, on server 1, this is the kind of tactic we had to take as Gondor against the elves. At one point, we were over here fighting the elves, but we realized we were getting really outnumbered. And so elves owned, I think it was Tower Lower, and we owned Nan Lefnui. So we moved everybody over here, and we came up and we attacked Tower Lower. We took that. We took Enedwaith. And then I believe we also took... No, we didn't end up taking Isengard. Rohan had that, but we took Enedwaith, and the elves stopped us. We might have taken Dunland too, I think, but this was basically as far as we made it before the elves over here finally made it back and were able to start pushing us here. So at that point, we moved back over here, and we started fighting them in their territory on this side again. Either that or we came over here, I think, and were hassling them around here. But we were jumping around the map just to try and draw their forces to different locations, because we knew we couldn't take them in a head-on fight. And that's kind of the situation that the good factions are in right now, in my opinion. Yeah, they can't take Isengard in a one-on-one head-on fight, but guerrilla tactics, they do work. Do I have a Relo token right now, or do I need to save up for one? I need to save up for one. Alright. I can do that. Alright, Mr. Agzox here. Go for it. Smack 'em. Oof. 200 trolls. Oh. $136K. 73,000. What? Why did he only do 73,000 there? That's weird. 85,000. What is going on? What is happening with the damage numbers today? It's not even like this guy's got anything to boost his defense. That doesn't make any sense. But there's a lot of stuff not making sense today, it seems. Like that whole battle with Shag, right? Like I said, those damage numbers still don't make any friggin' sense to me. This seems way too low. For, you know, like, how the heck did 2,000 alchemists only deal... Like, they didn't even deal 20,000 damage? Almost 2,000 Reapers did barely 30,000? Oh, well, not even that, did just over 25. And then Crushers. And this is supposed to be with a 30% damage boost. Like, this is so confusing to me that I think I'm going to send it off to somebody that delves deeper into the math with, like, spreadsheets than I do. Yeah, I'm hoping that he's got an answer that makes sense. Well, hello and welcome to the stream. That anyone that's new joining us, any questions about the game, feel free to ask. We'll try and answer them to the best of our abilities. Anything we can't answer, we will try and find it together. It'll be an adventure. Like, I'm trying to find answers to seemingly confusing damage numbers today. Like I said, this doesn't make any sense either. I don't know why he only did 85,000 commander damage there. Oh, how many commanders do you have stuck in here? My God. You seriously need to clear that up for us. This is what, 4 commanders that I've taken out of here now? Hopefully this is the last one, and Kamul's next attack will hopefully take it down with the siege damage. Oh, of course they're reinforcing it. Lovely. This is going to take us forever if we're the only ones trying to take these guys out. Situations like this make this such a long process sometimes. But nope, nobody wants to help with AI. Everyone just wants to keep fighting it out. Because it's a war game. We got to be at war every single day, don't we? Sorry, I'm a little salty over it. Not enough people appreciate the downtime. Jeez. Man, that really sucks. That really sucks. Now I know I've got that 25, that level 35 Karoon in there. I've got this guy now. Our AI actively, I haven't heard that they're actively attacking yet. But I just don't feel comfortable having this much AI sitting here unchecked. I've learned the hard way from our past experiences just how much of a pain these guys can be if you don't take care of them. They always seem to become active at the worst times. We've got people relocated over here now. Yeah, the keep is just up here. So, I don't know. The AI does seem a lot quieter than usual. But I still think it would be silly to just leave them alone. Again, we're not under any pressure right now from any particular factions. Why not take the time while we've got it? It's just going to make us stronger in the end. Hey, Wegwezen. Okay, now that would actually make sense, Kaz, because I had asked that question early on in this, on this server, and I was told the opposite. I can't remember who it was that I asked and who told me, but I did wonder, you know, because we're technically on the same team, would the AI even be programmed to attack Mordor? And whoever it was I was talking to at that time thought yes, that they would attack us just like normal because we're players and they're AI. But what you're saying would make a lot more sense as to why we haven't necessarily been getting actively attacked by them. I can't, although I want to say they have taken, no, we did get actively attacked by them actually. Yeah, when we were at this crossing, when we were sitting here fighting it out with Rohan, I remember coming down here myself. I had to put Grima, I think, on this tile because we had some AI camps around here that kept throwing troops at our tiles and our forts up here. So yes, the AI have actively attacked us, even if they're not actively attacking us right now. I mean, you're pretty much spot on there, Wegwezen. there's always going to be drama in this game. I think it's the nature of these kind of games. You know, there's always going to be a winner. There's always going to be a loser. And there are going to be some people that feel they lost unfairly. And that, you know, they need to let the world know about it. Those are when, I find it's those times when we get the drama. So, again, it's a game that involves diplomacy. It's a game with winners and losers. And I don't think you can have those kind of games without a little bit of drama. That's why I asked you guys, are they getting involved? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question, Kaz. You know, maybe they were just trying to take, you know, I wonder, had we let them take a few tiles? Well, no, because then they still wouldn't have been able to get across. They still wouldn't have been able to use the cross. But like you said, they may have been targeting Rune and had to get through us. But the fact that they targeted us still tells me that they have the ability to target us. I mean, I guess, sorry, Wegwez, and I guess to more directly answer your question, we've got drama on this server as well. Don't you worry. I haven't been following it today myself, but I mean, pretty much if this character is in chat, it seems you're pretty well guaranteed there's a bit of drama. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about them personally. I've had some good conversations with Era, but other people seem to have some issues. Yeah, this is, yeah, I do still think that the AI can target us and will target us, Kaz, if we don't keep them in check. But maybe not. I mean, why wouldn't they clear, no, because why wouldn't they clear me out here right now? Isn't that how they usually do it? Oh, I'm so confused. This is why we just need all 8 factions playable and just don't need to deal with AI, man. Just makes the game confusing when stuff like this happens, because now I don't know. Do we need to worry about the AI? Do we not? Do we go and defend Kindland from the dwarves? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. What's it tell us? Our defend our capital. So yeah, it doesn't say anything about defending other evil capitals. They only specify defending Mordor's capital. Yeah, it's an interesting question. Wegwezen, it's seeming more and more like I'm gonna have 2 accounts, one for the good factions and one for the evil factions. My good faction account is probably gonna be dwarves, at least for the first season. And my evil faction account, it's looking more and more like it's gonna be Mordor. Isengard, I do like their troops. The Snagathrax look interesting. I don't know. There's just something about them that doesn't totally grab me. Rune, I'm not really interested in playing as the Easterlings much at all. And Angmar is the only other one that I'm kind of interested in, but I think I'd rather have earlier access to the mountain trolls and just go Mordor. Plus, to be honest, I do love Mordor's starting location. It's, as far as I know, we are the only faction that has the kind of natural defenses we do in Minas Morgul and the Black Gate to secure our early borders. You know, that makes expanding out this way, early game, much easier, which is not something I focused on this round. I made a folly idea in trying to push for Southern Illithin, but I think come live, if I were to go Mordor again, my early suggestion would be to get some forts here, yes, so that we're ready to move there when needed and defend. But I think the early focus for Mordor should be Hills of Rune, Southern and Northern Khand, and once Hills of Rune is taken, right into Ashen Plains and Daggerland. Secure these so that the northern region of Mordor is secure, and then that gives the option of going Dorwinion, Sea of Rune, over here. Once the south is secure, you can go through here if you want to hit Gondor. So, eastward expansion is Mordor's best plan. Yeah, the Fallen seemed like a pretty good unit. Yeah, see right there, Wegwezen, that's exactly what I'm afraid of. That's what I want to avoid. I don't want to ignore the AI and have Mordor just all of a sudden start getting smashed by Rune unexpectedly. But it seems like I'm the only leader, or the only one in leadership position, that really understands how big a threat they are. So it doesn't feel like I've got much support from the other warbands right now. This is the first time we've had a bit of a fracture in the Mordor warbands, to be honest. Up until this point, we've all pretty well been in agreement when making decisions. We've all thought what we've been doing so far were the best ways of moving forward. But it kind of feels like right now, Merc is really wanting to push down here and in here. I'm wanting to take some time over here to just build and take a break. And I think Loathing is kind of caught in the middle. So we're in a bit of an interesting spot in Mordor right now, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm kind of glad the other factions are all so scattered, because in all honesty, we might be a little vulnerable at this very moment. But I'm sure if we were to come under threat, that would unite us again very, very quickly, just like it did at the Black Gate. So I'm not too worried, to be honest, about getting overrun. I'm just concerned that we're not communicating as effectively right now, and that Mordor's progress as a whole is going to just slow down a little bit. Especially if Gondor decides for some reason to push down here and defend this really hard. If they decide to sacrifice, some of their land up here and start fighting Merc and them down here, that could turn into a whole nother Ithilien battle. So I think Gondor's still got enough players to put up a good fight. Alright, well, we're just going to bring you home then. We don't want to risk you dying. Not throwing more guys at this. Like I said, it's going to take us so much longer to try and take care of these guys if we're the only warband doing it. We're gonna need to be sending 2 and 3 guys. Like, look at all this. Look at all this. Look at all this that we gotta deal with. I mean, yeah, these are all grunts and scouts over here, but still. The tribesmen are down here, the chieftains. Yeah, no problem. We got this, I guess. You guys go wage war on Gondor for no reason. Again, a little bit of the salt coming out, but because we don't need to, Phantom. There's absolutely no reason to waste any stamina. Well, now we'd have to declare war to do it anyway. Now it's on Isengard to do it. They came in and took Ithilien. So if these forts are going down, it's on Isengard. Like I said, we'd have to declare war to siege any of this now. So it's absolutely useless. It's pointless to try and clear out these forts. Gondor is not a threat. Why waste resources on something that isn't threatening you? That's exactly why I haven't had any focus down here right now. Because Gondor is not a threat. They're so worried about Isengard running them over that they're not even thinking about Mordor. So why are we forcing a problem where there isn't one? That's kind of what I've been trying to convince people of. Is like, yes, we were fighting for pretty much a week straight because we were under pressure at that time. We had elves here. We had Rohan over here. We needed to do something or we were going to get trapped. So we fought. We fought back the elves. We fought back Rohan. We've taken the land we needed to. Sure, we haven't taken Daggerlad yet, but the elves aren't threatening us from there. So we have ample time to take it whenever, really. Isengard knows that we're planning on taking it, so I can't see that they'd come in and steal it on us. But we still need level 50 commanders. We still need 230s, 260s, 300 tiles. We still need to increase our resource production and our ring power production. None of that can happen while we're at war. Because the resources we need to increase those things are the same resources we need to win wars. So you can't really do both things at the same time. You can either be at war or you can either be building in strength. And right now, I honestly think Mordor is much better served chilling out and building our strength, which is what I've suggested to Swan. But again, there are others that seem to just be so focused on taking Daggerland and smashing Gondor and mama kills that they can't even take yet. So I don't know if it's just impatience, excitement, or what. But all of that stuff's going to come eventually. We've still got 3 weeks left. Let's take a little bit of time now to get those 50s and then get to the end game. I've explained this many times before. The 5% bonus on these is useless. For me anyway. I've never found it beneficial. I've tried it before and I've just never found it useful. Yeah, exactly, Cass. See? Like, that's what I'm talking about. The veterans that have played this game numerous times on numerous servers and whatever, we understand the balance between war and downtime. You can't do both. You can't do everything at once. So that's why you will see factions slow down sometimes. It's just a natural part of the game. But yeah, the tributes in here, like in my building menu, the reason I haven't got these maxed yet is because I was maxing more important things. I wanted my fourth conscription queue. I wanted main hall level 10. Well, I mean, I wanted my Ravagers. Now that I don't really use them, I probably could have invested those resources in the tribute bonuses. But now that I'm not so focused on my main upgrades, now I am maxing out my tributes. But I have a certain process that I follow. I have certain priorities, like certain building upgrades, certain ring bonuses that I prioritize. And I find it gives me a really streamlined way of playing. But even if I had all of my tributes maxed, even if I had all of these maxed, I still couldn't sustain being at war every day and trying to increase my power production and ring power and resource production. The two do not go hand in hand. Again, you cannot be trying to take 200 plus tiles if you plan on defending a major structure or attacking a major structure. Because the units you need to attack that structure, a lot of them are going to die taking 200s, 230s, 260s, and plus. So, you know, if I want to mock Grima up to 50, I can't have him on the front line in battle. So, like I said, it's just not really possible to maintain a constant state of war, regardless of your resource production. Maybe. Again, I don't find it crucial. I'm never finding myself too broke. You know, I've got my mountain trolls almost maxed. I've got my crushers 1 point away from that being maxed. You know, like I've still been able to afford my upgrades. I was able to afford 65 fell beasts. I could get more if I wanted. I just haven't yet. You know, any unit that I want to get their abilities up a little bit, I always have gold on hand to do that. I've always been able to keep some gold on hand for forts and fortresses. So, again, it's nice. Like, what would I even be getting? So 15. Yeah, I mean, so what if yeah, it's, I think, because I did the same thing when I first started in the original beta. I went real heavy up here. I was like, oh yeah, give me more resources, give me more levy, give me all the resources, I love it. But eventually it was like, well, I don't want those anymore. I want to increase my levels more. I want better mock battles. I want more stamina. I want more ability points. I want more forts. I want to reposition quicker. I want to march quicker. You know, I had certain things that was like, I actually want these things because I feel like I need them. Whereas the resources, it was like, no, I don't need them. It's not like I'm going to lose all my resource production if I get rid of it. I'm just losing a little bit. So I get 5% less than somebody who's invested the points in those. But guess what? My mock battles are getting me a lot more experience than that guy's. Or I've got 30 ability points and he doesn't. Or I've got 150 stamina for my commanders and he doesn't. So, I mean, for me, 150 stamina in the early game is really big. It allows a few extra tiles, I think 2 extra tiles. Yeah, 1 or 2 extra marches, I think, per commander, basically. So your pathers can get a little bit further. You can attack a couple more times. Yeah, in the end game, it's pretty sad when you come in and you've got like 325,000 gold, 5 levies to go and take, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll recruit 200 fell beasts just because. Like I said, that's when we started putting down forts and singing songs with our fort titles. That's how much gold we had in the last beta, all right? We had full conversations through forts. I mean, a large part of that's just because we're probably kind of weird, but a large part of it is also because we just had so much extra gold by the end of it that throwing down 6 forts at a time was nothing. Alright, well, I think we are going to run this for another about 16 minutes, see if we can hit that 3-hour mark. And then I'm going to have to sign off, at least for the early part of the day. Might be able to pop on again later for a quick late night stream, we'll see. Gold, it's just called levy, but it's for your resources. So just a second. Cass, just a second here. Are you talking about this levy? Because he is talking about this levy. I'm thinking there was just a miscommunication between the two there. Because I will admit, Cass, this levy under the ring, it does specifically say resource tribute bonus. And that would apply to this, because your buildings do also give resource production. So I'm wondering if that, or no, the actual tributes, I'm guessing. That would make even more sense. There we go, Cass. So the levy ability in the ring, I'm guessing this is what it affects right here. So you would get 30% on, like I would get 30% on 5,000 right now. So let's just do some quick math here. 5,000 times 0.30. All right, that's what I figured. So if in fact I had maxed out my levy ability on the ring, instead of 5,000 grain per hour from my grain tribute, I'd be getting a whole 6,500. I mean, yeah, it's another 1,500 per hour, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot. So again, do I really think getting 1,500 extra grain an hour right now is worth more than having my mock battles cost 10% less grain, or give 10% more experience, or cost 10 less stamina? Or do I think it's more valuable than getting 30 stamina early on? You know, that's why I don't take these, because those numbers, they're not that high. The bonuses you get, you've got to increase your base number to an extremely high level for that percentage to really start to pay off. No. Phantom, I'm gonna just jump in again here. I tried to make sure Cass was on the right page with us, but if you read this here, I've started to realize, these guys are pretty keen on their wording sometimes. It does specifically say the resource tribute bonus, and the only other place that I've ever seen the wording resource tribute is through these. So I wonder if there's a way. Yeah, so I guess the only way to really test that on its own would be to get the levy ring buff to max, come in here and look at what bonus you're getting from your ring buff, and then do the math. Go back into the tribute bonus that you're getting for said resource. So like I was just using grain, for example. So if I had my levy buff maxed, and this told me I was getting 1,500. Yeah, if this told me I was getting 1,500 grain, then I would know that that levy bonus only applies to the actual tributes. Because I'm not sure if the other, I'm not sure if this is considered a tribute. Yeah, the land production isn't a tribute, so it's just the land doing its work. So I say, in a case like that, I really look at wording really specifically. Maybe that comes from playing Magic the Gathering for so long, needing to really be careful about wording. And when I see specific wording used like tribute, I try and line it up with other areas that say the same thing. So I personally believe this only applies to the actual tribute upgrades. Let's see here. All right, so okay, so you're getting, so for me to be able to do the math on your production to find that out, Lord, I would also need a picture of the upper left hand of your ring. And I would also need a picture of one of your tribute buildings to see how much production is being given from one of your tribute buildings. I think with those 3 pictures, I'd be able to work out if the bonus only applies to that. Hello, Lawrence. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Unfortunately, we are only here for about another 8 minutes. I'm going to be cutting this one at the 3-hour mark. Any questions in that time, though, feel free to ask. We'll try and answer them the best we can. We're on a little project right now. I mean, if this takes longer than 8 minutes, then so be it. I want to find the answer to this if I can. Because, you've got 31 for grain, for example. You've got 3120 coming from your ring buffs, but I don't know how much of that is coming from the levy bonus. I don't know how much of that is coming from your 5%. Well, I mean, 5% would be. Anyway, the other pictures would help clear that information up, that's for sure. As I said, I still think it only applies to the actual tribute buildings themselves. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll wait out Sharku's. Yeah, we'll wait out Sharku's mock battle timer, and then we'll get to see just how close everyone was to what level he was going to hit. Aha, here we go. Okay, so let's write some numbers down. Ah, awesome. That makes it easy. So we've got the 30%. All right. So 0 stone, 0 and stone either. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that would only be 2,400. So there's what, 720? Harvest. Is that? No, that's for gather. Where are those other? Okay, that's interesting. I can't account for 720 because the 30% from levy, 2,400. Oh, wait, no, this is lumber that I'm looking at, and that's even more actually. It's 3,360. So okay, so there's actually 960. Well, maybe it's also combined with the HQ. Maybe, no, because the HQ only provides settlement durability. It doesn't actually provide resource generation. And it specifically says that you're getting the, yeah, it specifically says that you're getting the 3,360 from ring bonuses. That doesn't make any sense to me. From the look of your ring here, you should only be getting the bonus from your levy. Alright, well, thank you for the pictures. As I said, I did try and crunch the numbers here. I can't account for 960 of your resource bonus from your ring. I know where 2,400 of it's coming from. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Sorry, duh. I was not thinking there. So that, okay, so let's, what one gives you lumber? Yeah, okay, I guess I don't know which. No, you're with us, so it would be your northern quarters. Your northern quarters would be the answer to that. Are you able to provide a screenshot of your northern quarters? If so, that might answer the question right there. Sorry, I'm just needing to respond to a text message there. There we go. This is now the Math Club stream. Lord of the Rings Math Club. So, 3,000. Oh. I think we might have an answer. Huh. Sort of. We're still missing 60. Sorry. That gives us another 900. Where else would you be getting wood from? There is 60. Like 60 is such a low number. Huh. Yeah, the warband provides a lot more than 60 though. Huh. Yeah, I'm stumped on the last 60, but we've at least confirmed that the levy bonus only applies to it does apply to your tribute buildings as well as your headquarters building for the respective resource. Wait, no, it's not be it either. Huh, yep, I don't know. We got close. We got within 60 points. Go maths. Maths are fun. But yeah, I still don't think it's worth investing the 10 points in the levy bonus myself. Now, as I always say when talking about ring builds as well, though, the ring is definitely a very personal thing. Everyone builds it their own way. There's no right or wrong way, in my opinion, to do it. whatever each individual feels is the best setup for the way they play the game, that's how they should build their ring. There are some people that take advantage of the reset system and reset their ring once a day. I don't do that either. I used to reset my ring when you could do it more often, but with a 24-hour cooldown, I just feel like it would slow me down too much. But again, to each their own. I don't want to judge other people's ring setups. If it works for you, it works for you. Alright, we got 3 minutes on the Sharku. And then once we take a look at his level, maybe assign his points, we're going to be calling this one. It's been another great stream with everyone. I've enjoyed the chats, the conversations, the maths, figuring some stuff out. It's always a good time. If there's anyone new and you feel like it's helped in any way, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next ones. We'll be streaming a little more often than we put out videos until the beta ends. Then once the beta ends, I will have tips and tricks videos, a few how-tos, things like that coming out on the channel until the game launches live. But I figure while people are actively playing the game, this is probably the best time to be streaming it. I mean, as some have probably gathered, you know, most of the stuff that I'm helping with, most of the answers that I'm able to give, a lot of them I haven't come to myself. There are a lot of different players on the different servers that are veterans from previous betas. We've all been in constant communication, just trying to help everyone out, help each other out. We're always sending reports, asking questions, just trying to clarify certain weird things we find in this great game. He said, I sent one, I don't know if you're still with me here, Cass. I sent this to Tiz because these damage numbers on a Sharku just don't seem right at all, do they? These are all orcs. They should all be getting a lot of bonus damage. Yet they did less damage in this fight than I've ever seen any of them do. I mean, the alchemists alone are just pitiful. And Reaper's not even breaking 30k. I mean, I don't get it. So, I don't know. I feel like there's something wrong with that. But I guess I didn't check all the way. Because my original thinking was maybe they just didn't even make it to round 5. But they did. No, they definitely did. So yeah, I don't know. I think Shagrat's just broken again. Yeah, there you go, Phantom. Like I said, it's one of those things that I think it looks more appealing at face value, but then when you actually dive into the numbers, you know, it's not game breaking. if you don't have that. Like I said, I mean, at the point you're at right now, does 80k of a resource really make or break most of the decisions that you make involving them? Or is 80k just kind of, yeah, that'll get me over the line? You know, if you were getting 200,000 a day or something from it, I couldn't argue at all. But yeah, that's why I don't go that tree. All right, so Sharku's done. Oh, look at that, 29. Decent, very decent. I mean, we all undershot that. That's great. All right. So, where do we want to put some 11 points from the Sharku? Yeah. So, I don't know if that's worth a ring reset, maybe, to put those 10 points somewhere that is going to give you a bit more direct benefit. So we got 11 points. I almost think I want to max one of these and then boost the other one. Although I could max Conspirator. Yeah, I mean, at first I did say 29 to 30. To be honest, I thought I was really overshooting it. But I guess I'm getting a feel for the experience a little more than I thought, should I just max Conspirator to maximize his burn damage and then worry about boosting these? This is gonna be so 130-ish or 140 to 150% burn damage twice at max. All burn damage received by... I hate these weird numbers. It's gonna be... Is it just going to come to 21% or so? Like 20 or 30%. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I think I'm happy with that. Alright, well, we have seen the results of that mock battle. There's not really a whole lot else going on at the moment. I've got some stuff to go and do today. Thank you very much for joining me, though. It's always a pleasure. I hope I've been able to help out a little bit. I'm glad we were able to figure out some of this, some of the math involved with that levy bonus, just to clear up a little bit more the value or lack thereof, depending on how you look at it, of that tree of the ring. If it has helped, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next ones. And until next time, good luck on the battlefield.